Hello, welcome. It's HardLore time. What's up, Bowen?
Hey, man.
How's it going?
It's going so... We just had a nap.
You together?
With like the whole... everybody at our undisclosed location had like an hour nap. It was really
One
nice.
bed?
Yeah.
One really big bed. It was
Head
great.
toe?
Yeah. No. Come on.
No.
We're not weird.
Okay, got it. Well, let's talk about this guest we have.
Who do we got? We got the host of the #1 soda review
Of all time.
Show of
Number
all
one
time.
soda review show ever. In
fastest
history.
growing, award winning,
Dude, I'm getting followers by the dozens.
left and right. Look at the shirts. by the way.
100 of followers since he began.
Yeah. Can you tell the shirts we're wearing? I don't know if you can, but they can.
You guys are repping the dual brand, brother.
Yeah, straight up.
Well, anyway, it's James Pligge. James Hammers McPligge, vocalist of Harm's Way, welcome, James.
Hey, thanks for having me on. You know,
This is faded.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, I feel.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, fan of the show.
All of the above.
Let me ask you this, James. I probably talk to Bo as much, if not more, than you do at this point.
At this point, just because you and I are so busy.
Business partners, yeah.
Yeah.
With respect to him, I'm sick of the guy. What's your relationship with Bo like some 20 odd years later?
Well, hey, we've been through a lot together. I'll tell you that much.
Through the ringer, as they say.
I mean, it's funny to think that, like, you know, obviously when you're in a band with somebody and you obviously tour for as long as we have and been in the band for as long as we have, it's like you basically live with them, you know, for 6 months out of the year for many, many years at this point. So I will say when we're at home, we probably don't hang out as much, only because, you know, we're sick of each other at that point.
We live a ways apart.
Yeah, he lives in
Right.
the city. I'm a suburban guy. But yeah, we go out to eat from time to time. We obviously have band practice once or twice a week, every single week. You know, I would say most
That's
of
crazy.
yeah, I mean,
Uh-oh, hold on. I just fucked something up. My bad. Don't worry. It's coming. There you go.
we're good. We're
Yeah,
good.
sorry
All
about that.
See this scumbag.
Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure we were on the same setting.
He's at it again.
I can't stop, dude.
No, you know I love me some Bo. I jest on the show, but like,
Dude, you're working with people. You're relying on people's like everything's and like, hey, we forget. I would have forgotten XLR cable today
you
if it
do
wasn't
be
for him.
forgetting. But
He got me today. Tell you what.
James got Bo.
That's
We
right.
got
we
Mills.
kind of we bump heads. We kind of bumped heads a little bit even today. But then like what? 2 hours later, we're having like a heart to heart.
Creatively
Yeah.
or like what's for dinner?
Yeah, no, creatively. But sometimes it is what's for dinner. Sometimes it is. I mean, when did we meet? When was that? We met at a stand and fight show
Yeah,
in
I think
Darien, Illinois.
weren't they still impacted?
They
at
were
that
still
time?
impacted,
So
right?
it must have been 2004.
Yeah, I couldn't drive yet.
2004. So
Well,
either 2004 or 2005.
I think it may have been. I couldn't drive yet. I got my license 2003.
Wow.
It might have been 2003 then.
Yeah,
So,
I think
It was a year. That much
Yeah.
we know.
and that long, almost 20 years ago.
The
For sure.
Impact stand and fight long sleeve.
Had it.
Green
Got
and
it at
blue?
that
Blue green on blue.
I had gray with black. I had like the OG edge.
One of the first shirts of many that I stole from Taylor.
I still have it. I still have the same ex-girlfriend who returned Marissa. She returned that Strat to me. She returned that zip up to me. She was like, "You might as well." Still have it.
I would love to see you put that on.
Dude. I think it's a youth large.
You bought youth larges in the youth
Dude,
large
at
era.
the time, James. At the time, including him, we all wore small. Everyone wore smaller shirts, tight smaller shirts. That was the
I
was
never
there.
wore youth large. Let me be.
Well, no,
very
not
clear.
youth large.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what's funny is when we met him, Caution introduced us to you. John Caution of Weekend Nachos and later of Harm's Way. was like, "Oh, this is James. We call him Youth Crew James. People call him Mini Wrench because at the time he was like shaved head, built. Even though were you in high school still? 2003? Had to be.
When I met you, I think I was a senior. So 2003, 2004. Yeah. So
There you go. So there you go. We figured out the year, but it was like, yeah, here's this guy, and we were just like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, of course.
You know, nicest guy, nicest man.
Just born with a beautiful body, huh?
Can you believe it?
What's that like?
I don't know. It's a genetic gift. I got to think.
Hans.
One Hans Pligge.
Yeah. Do you ever resent the genetics thing? Because obviously you do have a genetic hand dealt to you. And Colin, I imagine you might feel this way too, because you do have a genetic hand dealt to you. You guys have very different hands. Do you hear me, Colin? Very different hands. But you had to work for what you got. It's not like you woke up one day. Both of you, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're gonna, obviously, I think genetics play a large role in physique and health in general. But I would say, obviously, I've put in a lot of time in the gym consistently for the last. I mean, I've been lifting for 22 years at this point. But I would say that it's easier for me to maintain my physique rather than somebody who might have been skinnier and then, got a good physique. Because if you look at pictures when I was like, in 5th or 6th grade, I already have like broad shoulders. I already have like musculature.
Yeah. That's the thing I notice is like look at John from Vane.
Yeah.
He was legit shredded before doing a single workout in his life. And now he's like brick shithouse,
Yeah.
He
solid.
looks good.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Genes do play a part. Obviously, you can't just say like, "Oh, it's just genes. That guy doesn't work out." But
Right, of course.
that people work out because they're like, "Oh, I have the genes to do this. I should probably do this." One of the fucking Garris brothers, Trey,
Yeah, Trey.
Dude,
the drummer. Yeah.
I got to talk to him. James, if you saw this motherfucker without a shirt, you'd be like, "Hey man, let's talk. We got to get you."
He's ready to rock.
It's crazy.
Now's the time.
He's like vascular as fuck, shredded. Clearly eats like Oreos and just skates.
Yeah. We've gone to the gym twice this week, Colin. Can you tell?
Nope.
Well, I'm basically huge. It's probably just the camera.
It's the angle.
Don't worry about it.
But with what you were saying with genes, like you said, you can maintain easier.
Sure.
If I go a week without working out, no joke, I'm visibly fatter.
You just like you inflate. I was gonna say
Oh
deflate.
my god, I deflate and inflate.
Right.
I do. I look like people will just be like, "Whoa, you look worse."
How many? I don't want to talk about fitness the whole time.
No, we don't,
knows
'cause nobody
gotta
wants to
talk.
hear that.
We got to talk about food.
Yeah.
But how many workout programs have you made for people, me included, that just like went into the air and became nothing?
Oh, probably in the hundreds, I would say.
Gotta be.
Well,
I'm in the 20s or 30s at this point.
Oh, you're making stuff for
I
people.
still look like a sack of shit at most hours of the day.
Well, I think Bo was referring to how many workout plans have I created for people who
same.
ask me
Okay.
about, like, hey, can you make me up a workout plan? Like, people come, whatever, to the merch table or something all the time. Hey, man, how do you get so
God.
big? Well, blah, blah, blah. Well, and so, mostly it's friends or, family or whatever. And, the thing is, the reality is you have to consistently do this for a long and, over and over and over for many years. Diet has to be on point. Working out has to be on point. It has to be consistent. And I mean, the fact is that, life gets in the way many times.
It do, man. And the whole, like, you can't out-train a bad diet thing?
Yeah, I mean,
I will be fucking buried into the earth trying to prove that wrong.
I actually don't fully agree with that concept because, I mean, I'm going to be honest. When I was in college, I probably looked the best at age like 22, 23.
That was like the ski mask,
Right.
Florida picture era.
Of course.
Like I weighed less then. I like probably have more muscle now, but as far as like my physique as a whole, I think that's the best I ever looked. My diet was completely like unhinged.
But when you're at that age, your metabolism will allow
Sure.
that to happen.
Yeah, but okay.
I mean, I think that's where genetics plays the
sure.
highest role.
Because
right?
how long has it been since you worked out? Like he started working out again this week because he's had shit going on. How long had it been?
It'd probably be 3 weeks. Since
Dude, if I
had
went
done a
3
workout.
weeks without lifting, no joke, I would be starting from scratch.
but
Which is not true, but in my mind, I see.
Yeah, right. It's in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a foundation. You know what I mean?
Boy, do you. Boy,
Speaking
does.
of foundation,
nice.
What's up?
what's up, Colin?
You guys toured with them a couple times, huh?
Yeah, I just don't want to talk about lifting the whole time.
No, that's fine.
Is that not all that you get?
I mean,
Every fucking thing we put, it's like Chicago Powerhouse. And it's just like it's always like a double entente. It's like, yeah, okay, you know.
no, for sure. I think that's like one really annoying thing about being physically fit or muscular or whatever is like you automatically get thrown into this category of, being meathead, like, because like there is still an interpretation of Harm's Way is like, oh, they're this tough guy hardcore band, like
Just
dude,
the least true.
yeah, like what are you listening to?
Yeah.
Like you're looking at like probably a video on YouTube and like making that judgment, right? So, for me, I just like sometimes I resent like having to that be the first thing people, point out about the band because that's the least important thing about, I want people to listen to music. I don't want people to look at me and be like, oh yeah, their singer's so ripped.
But the secret is that the balance is of both of those things is really what works long term. I genuinely believe.
So true.
Sure.
This is me off the rip here.
I mean, look at Peter Steele.
Oh, a beautiful, sexy man.
It's a perfect
Listen,
balance.
this is my theory. If I was a sexy guy when Disharmony came out, would have been a different fucking story. But I was like, that was rock bottom. So,
I mean, I'm sure it helps, like in the sense of, like, oh, like I'm gonna check out this band because of that. But
yeah,
I guess it bothers me more when we work on a record, for example, fucking 4 years we've been working on this thing. We put all this time, and then you get this review from like some reputable place, and the first fucking thing they say,
huge cocked singer.
Yeah.
Has
like,
huge
dude,
cock. Yeah.
give me a fucking break. There's actually one particular interview when Posthuman came out. It was from some European. I mean, that's already a knock right there. But
Amen.
It begins minute 14.
But no, they were like, Posthuman sounds like Madball.
Are you serious?
And I was like, dude, Madball is probably one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah.
And probably questionably the best New York hardcore band of all time. But Harm's Way literally sounds nothing like Madball.
Couldn't.
And then
like-
his follow up was like, by the way, I have only heard Madball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't listened to the new record yet.
It's like how could you listen to Posthuman and say it sounds anything like Madball other than it has a guitar, drums, and bass? Like that's
right.
like the similarities,
It's true.
So anyway.
I mean, do you experience that with God's Hate with Big Bad Brody King? I mean, you kind of want it, don't you?
Yeah,
Because,
that's it. That's the thing is like I think we've found the balance now, especially with the message, the like life is hard, be harder stuff. Like, hey, there you go, you got the shirt on. Like we're doing that, I've my body has changed more times in the past 4 years. I've embodied 5 different bodies in the past 4 years. So like doing what you're saying is kind of what we kind of figured out is like, oh, this is because Twitching Tongues never once thought about the way we looked other than like wearing a sick shirt.
Yeah.
And like now I'm like, maybe we should have. But in reality, like the live show is what brings people back. You know, the record, and like you said, you work so hard on a record, but the record's only going to do half the job.
Totally. We are, I mean, there's two types of bands. I guess really you could break it down to two types of bands. I don't know if this is true or not, but like there's like live bands that can rely solely on the live thing, and then there's recorded bands that can do the opposite, rely solely on the record. And like we, for a long time, it was like we didn't get people until they saw us live. Period.
I mean,
because
brother,
yeah. I mean, because it's all energy. You know,
Yeah.
it's this guy's moving all the time. I try to move as much as I can. We try to be tight.
dude, you were all over the fucking place,
Gotta be
bouncing bean.
little boy.
You're a silly guy, James. I feel like we'll open this can of worms at some point in this episode.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's
People
do it.
don't know that you're probably the funniest member of the band.
I mean, that's a given.
But see, it's effortless. It's like that, you know?
Yeah. It takes a while, doesn't it? It takes you got to be comfortable.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
no, for sure. I think people know me as like a pretty quiet, kind of just keep to myself person.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely that comfortability once I'm comfortable around people. Like, yeah, I think the goofiness comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, out of any place on earth, like the band is obviously where it comes
Yeah,
out
yeah.
the most, because I'm around these guys all the time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Can't take yourself too seriously.
No, I think your presence is what makes it. Like you did this thing consistently where you'd come up and just be like, and for some reason, I don't know what it was about it. I would just piss my pants laughing every time.
He's got a really good bit that he's been doing for probably a decade, where someone will be like, James, tomorrow I want to go over this with you, and I think we should try to do X, Y, and Z. And he'll go, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. He just no sells it, and it's like or he'll be like, oh sure, and then he'll look at me, and we both just like giggle like school kids,
There's a classic one that you used to hit me with all the time where anytime I was complaining about something, if I'd be like, well, these motherfuckers forgot my fries, you'd be like, yeah, I wrote a song about it. It's called
Really?
Breeding Grounds. Like any issue I had with any person, you're like, yeah, I wrote a song about it. It's called Breeding Grounds.
I mean, I literally don't even remember that. It's
classic.
I got a lot of bits.
Yeah, he's up to his ears in bits. We just ate Shake Shack
How was it?
across the street. It's pretty good.
What'd you get?
I just got the standard burger, lettuce, tomato, onion
With the sauce.
with the sauce.
Yo,
And then
you
I
got
got
it. I found a little hack there.
At
They
Shake
got
Shack?
they got the cherry pepper relish.
Oh, I saw that.
Ooh.
Oh my god,
I saw that.
dude. It changed everything for me.
I mean, I
Cherry
will
pepper
say-
relish, add a side of Shack sauce for the fries. Come on.
Here's what's fun about James, for me personally. He and I are almost identical when it comes to palate.
Yeah, it's
when it
very
comes to the
close.
kind of food that we like, we may like the same things to different degrees, but we like the same things.
Interesting.
Like
You,
for the
you a
most
plain guy, James?
I wouldn't say plain,
part.
no.
Not as plain as me.
Okay.
But as far as like I like
You're not like a sauceman.
no, I'm not like you when it comes to sauces at all. But
I'm lost in it, man.
A sick fuck.
I will say I've like maybe in the last year, like if I'm trying something new, I want to try it as it's supposed to be.
Hence the Shack sauce.
So I tried, like I've had Shake Shack before, but I never actually had the Shack sauce or whatever.
How was it? What did you think of it?
I thought it was good. I thought it added a nice element to the burger. I personally don't like mayonnaise that much. But but again, sometimes like, hey, like whoever thought of that idea,
Mayo?
they thought this was an important, well, not mayo,
Whoever
but Shack
invented
sauce.
mayonnaise, honestly, a fucking hero to me.
Nah.
Well,
One
the
of my
thing-
personal air conditioning guy, mayo
Yeah.
guy.
yeah, of course.
Dude, that's another. James and I have a lot of weird similarities, and I talk about. I mention you a lot on the show.
Sure, yeah,
as I'm sure you've noticed. But I'll go. James, he gets as hot as me as quick as me.
Mm-hmm.
he needs something sweet
Listen, man,
as soon as I do.
I'm one of the Icebox boys.
Yeah,
I know.
straight up.
I know.
Oh, dude.
Dude, let's tell that story.
I mean, that's a good. This is a good way to go into some stories, right?
Yeah.
It
now.
is.
All right.
Friend of the show, Andrew Baker.
Great guy.
Great guy. Was merch guy for the Tongues. Was merch guy for us. Played in bands, sang in bands.
Well,
Yeah. And
he was in band. I don't know if he was playing.
we did he sang for What's Good. We did an international tour. We went to Southeast Asia, Japan, and Australia, and he was our merch guy. And we decided, this is when he hit us with Icebox Boys. The premise being that room stays as cold as a fucking icebox, boy, and you're just in there, right? We're Byron Beach.
Yeah, Byron Bay.
Byron Bay, and our like Australian Josh, shout out to Josh Housey, and Claire at the time like booked us a like a little cabin kind of thing. I don't know how you would really, like a camper almost.
Yeah, like we had a few days off, and they like it was basically like just a cabin, and like we walk out the front door, and you can literally just walk out on the beach. Like
It was monsoon season, so it was
yeah,
kind of not so
It
great.
was cheap.
It was cheap,
Yeah.
and there you go. But you know, monsoon. It was still hot because it was summer there still.
It was just but I remember it either rained or no joke was probably 5,000 jellyfish on the beach.
The
Damn.
blue bottle jellyfish.
Like they were just everywhere.
It was a time.
It was
That sounds
a little
apocalyptic.
strange.
A little strange. It was a little strange. But anyway, we had been making up. We've been complaining the whole tour, like you do, and
It's the best part. It's work.
that's the only part I enjoy anymore. And like, we just decided to set the AC, which was in Celsius, to the lowest, which I believe was 16.
It was very, I think 16, yeah, but I think a little part of a backstory is that we had just come from Southeast Asia, and
Melting the whole time.
basically
It was
just sweating like
it's the
to
wet
no end.
season, as they say.
Yeah, so this is like we get to Australia and like we're like, dude, we have to have max AC. We have to have
All the comforts of home, basically.
essentially.
Absolutely.
So, do you want me to finish the story?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's so good.
so everybody else, it's obviously in the Icebox Boys on this tour. It's me, Bo, and Baker, and we're in like the room of the cabin kind of had this one like community room, and then it had like another room, and A-Ross, shout out A-Ross, Chris go into this other room, and like I think it had a separate thermostat or something where they could turn the heat on. This other room is, so then it was what, me, you, Baker,
Someone we don't talk about.
someone we don't talk about,
Josh and Claire.
Josh and Claire. So it's about 2 or 3 a.m. and I have the normal like bed sheets,
like
comforter,
but like the thin one, like a summertime bed set, right?
and I'm about as cold as one could be, like literally shivering.
Like all of us, all of us are just
Comfortably shivering. Like
no.
Like, not comfortably.
It was fucking freezing.
like we're talking like, yo, like this is like way too cold.
It's too cold,
okay.
So
even for us.
at the time,
You said it's a 16 Celsius.
Yeah, could you look that up? What's 16 into?
I think it's 55 degrees.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
So
but like the thing is, it's so low, dude. I mean, but we're the fucking Icebox Boys.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
touching that thermostat.
No, I get
I'll
it.
cut off my hand before I
Yeah.
touch it, brother.
but what's funny is at the time, nobody knew that we were individually suffering.
So we're all just silent in our bunk beds.
But in the morning,
sick, right?
I love being an Icebox Boy.
but like in the morning, we basically like just confide to each other like, yo, like I out of principle, didn't get up to change the thermostat because like that's not what an Icebox boy does.
The Icebox boys, we really tied one on.
You took an oath.
Straight up.
But no joke, like literally no joke. We woke up and you could see like breath coming out in the morning. The windows were like
frosty.
Like almost like
condensation.
Condensation.
Dude, it was easily the coldest room we've ever been a part of, but out of principle.
Yeah, we weren't touching that shit.
Like we had a terrible night's sleep. Mm-hmm. We couldn't touch it. And so that's.
And then another good, same tour, same guy, A-Ross, we're in Japan. You know, Colin, you probably know better than I remember, but in Japan, there's a gentleman who has a home that's like in between Tokyo and elsewhere. And it's just like a guy who's got like a house that everyone stays at.
Is this the peanut butter guy?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea if it's a peanut butter guy. No idea.
We were there for not too long because we literally got there at like 1 a.m. and left at like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So we don't even know even whose house.
I don't know if I'm allowed to tell this story.
Okay.
It's not mine.
Well, think about it while I tell my story.
Okay.
A-Ross, shout out to A-Ross, was a fucking idiot and changed the thermostat from like probably a comfortable 18, which is like 64 degrees or something. I don't know. To 23.
Like I like it cold and 64 right now. Like this
64 is as cold as I typically
it was
get.
probably like 70. Like comfortable.
Just comfortable.
70.
On a wall unit or central?
It was one of those like what Taylor has in the studio. I don't know
like a
what
powerful wall unit.
Like a powerful, like a installed wall unit.
Dude.
And he set it to like 23 or 24.
I think it might have been even higher. Like he basically, for whatever reason, didn't think about that it was in Celsius.
He didn't think about that each degree of Celsius is like 8 Fahrenheit or whatever, you know? So he's just like cold in the middle of the night, which I understand because it was winter in Japan.
Right.
Because the hemisphere is shit, and we were all like sick. It was just like kind of a rough one. I honestly probably wouldn't have even minded being a little warm. When I'm sick, that's the only time I like to be warm. And I woke up, I'm not even joking, it was like, like I woke up like
melting,
physically cooking.
Wow.
I mean, he probably put it to like a 90 equivalent.
Like,
90?
No joke. Dude, a high 80. No, not even joke. Like we figured it out, and I was like, dude, do you realize how hot that? Like you turned on the heat, and he was like, "Well, I didn't know." And it's like,
who
this
is
was our
A-Ross?
fourth. A-Ross is this guy Aaron who was playing bass for us at the time. Friend of ours. Did he go to high school with you?
No, he went to high school with Caution. Actually.
Okay, James
is he
forever.
a friend of the show or an enemy of the show?
I don't know if he listens at all. He's a friend of the show. He would listen to this though and defend himself. So.
Okay, and that's an indefensible act. So
yes, but seriously, in the morning he was like, "Well, I didn't know," and this was like our 4th week in Asia. It's
Come on,
that's all we got is Celsius over here, brother. You know.
I remember just being like, dude, like, what are you doing?
What have you done?
Like, don't ever touch. Don't you know? Here's where Bully James came in. It's like, dude, don't ever touch the fucking thermostat again. Like that is not acceptable.
Period.
As a fill-in, touching the thermostat.
Yeah. He was like
almost
a semi-permanent fill-in at that
How
time.
can that? I've never heard this name in my life. And
Aaron A-Ross?
He played.
I'm gonna feel way worse if I know the guy.
He actually played for a No Guys No Masters tour, like early on.
Yeah.
And then he played
when you had your cast. Oh, we got to talk about that. We'll talk about that next.
And then he played. I think that might have been the only tour.
It was 2015, so he did Europe too on the Converge tour.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think Colin. Because when Disharmony, that was Samioa.
Wait a minute, he had to have because you had to have met him at least once because we played.
I'm sure I've met him.
4 shows with Disgrace.
Oh yeah,
before.
Yeah.
So
you probably met him, but just briefly.
Just like
what's the studio venue in Cobb, something that starts with a C.
Rock City.
That's it. Rock City. Yeah,
Dude,
I feel like
venue. that venue had this legendary guy called the Pisha guy. Because before he was like an older gentleman, But before the set, he would walk around all the bands, like asking like about the catering and stuff. He'd be like, "Yeah, we got like pisha and other things." And the way he pronounced, eventually people started just calling him the pisha guy to his face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like
But-
pisha as in pizza?
Pizza, yeah, pisha guy.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that place rocked because the fucking massage parlor was right next door.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where I think you and I got a massage together, and well, at the same time separately.
Yeah, not a couple's.
Not a couple, never.
Yeah, okay.
And the girl was like, I like saw her hand on the divider because she was standing on James' back. Like just
I
going
get
to
one of
town.
those all the time
Dude, the best.
with the
So
standing.
great.
It's very
There's
nice.
a couple legendary brawls at that venue for sure.
Yeah, we saw. Who's the Dawson's Creek guy?
Oh, Diplo. What was it? James Vanderbeek, right?
Yeah,
James Vanderbeek.
yeah.
He was
Yeah,
playing Diplo at your show there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Part of
that's
that.
right.
Like,
And there was
Every time I die, right?
there was like a weird. I don't know.
yeah, I was there, and then it was like encouraging people to stay and boo him. Essentially,
Yeah, basically was the
gimmick.
premise.
Anyway, this place in Japan. I don't know who's gonna get mad at me telling this, but I'm telling. It's not a big deal. Nobody remembers this, but on the Title Fight Foundation Japanese tour, they stayed there. I'm sorry, Aaron Warman. Aaron Warman from Long Island, I believe, was the first one to do it, but is just hungry, so makes like a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah,
And
I love a plain peanut butter sandwich. By the
so
way.
I guess all of them are like, we're making peanut butter sandwiches now, and they eat all the peanut butter,
all the peanut butter.
which is impressive to do in one sitting, all peanut butter. And this guy posts publicly, "I'm sorry to this man, I'm sorry to Foundation of Title Fight." This long message that was like, "Who did eat the peanut butter? My wife was mad." Oh no! Was it? And then he goes, "Was it Title Fight member? Was it Foundation member?" But that's who did eat the peanut butter.
And the answer was yes.
The answer was neither.
Yeah.
We stayed at somebody's house once, and it was 3 bands. And afterwards, and it was a nice house, and it was very obviously. Disclaimer: anyone who lets you stay at their house, thank you.
Yeah.
For the most part. And afterwards, this individual was like saying that we broke a bed, we broke a toilet. That literally, like, I went to use it as one of the first people there, and there was just like old shit in it, like a horror video game or
I
something.
hate old shit. I'm a new shit.
I hate
type
old
of
shit,
guy.
and I just
It's not good.
wasn't cool.
How ugly is
When-
other people's turds?
It's the work. Mine's a work of art, but everybody else is fucking disgusting, dude. When was that Albion House show? When did you break your arm while we were playing?
Mid
Must have
set?
been-
Dude, you're gonna love this story. There's a whole. I'm gonna go back, but what was that year?
It had to be 2010.
It was No Gods. Yeah, 2010.
Well, it was 2009 technically.
Right, because on the tour
Yeah.
was New Year's. Okay,
Let the man tell the story, Bo. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
It's actually a pretty important like point of harm's way actually. So long story short.
No. Short story long.
All right,
Hit it.
sure. Let's
Talk
do
about
it.
caution.
So prior to this show, Caution, for whatever reason, we were supposed to play, I think, a couple new songs that would eventually be No Guys, No Masters.
We were doing Steve Kane's radio show, remember? So we were like, oh, we're going to have to do this anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get him down.
So, and we were going to play him live in the Albion House. Obviously, most people don't know what that is. It was just a basement venue, right?
Sure.
They used to have lots of different shows, and it was usually like pretty popular, so it'd be super packed in there.
It was the killer Harm's Way
Sick.
in a basement.
Yeah. And so basically, Caution used to work at some call center, and Bo also worked at one point, called Total Attorneys. Okay. And for some reason, he skips practice because he was hungry or something, some idiotic reason.
He lived far north. Our practice space is far south in the city, and he didn't have a car. Which, it sucks to do that. I've been doing it forever.
Yeah, but public transportation there is like unbelievable.
It rocks, and he could definitely get food. So
And this
just whatever.
is John Caution, frontman of Weekend Nachos.
Correctamundo.
Yeah. So basically, there's some things I can't talk about in the argument, but let's just say some words were exchanged. And he basically tells me to fuck off. Like so he tells me to fuck off, and I say in return, eat my shorts. Okay? Through a text message. Then he quits the band.
That's that.
And I should say, so the tour that we had coming up immediately after this show, Caution wasn't going to do. Andrew was going to do.
Yeah,
Andrew Morrissey, friend of the show.
Yeah.
Legendary.
So we were like,
we
were like, okay, Andrew's going to play the Killer show, and Andrew's going to play the radio recording show that we're going to do, and then he's going on tour with us anyway. So like, no loss, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
So Andrew comes to practice. Excuse me. Learns the songs. We end up, going down, playing first song. I swing my arm back as hard as I possibly can. Someone, crowns, like puts their crown of the head. I hit my wrist right on their head. Arm breaks immediately.
Of course.
First 10 seconds.
Lights off.
I can't hold the microphone, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I can't let people know that I'm hurt. So I play the song with one arm, singing with one hand, finish the set, and then...
It also needs to be pointed out that during the set, when you're injured, Hofacker, our other guitar player at the time, had equipment malfunction. Mm-hmm. Okay?
His cab didn't work. But what's
the last thing you check, Colin? You know what I mean? The last thing you're going to check if it's working or not is a cab, just because that means you got to get another fucking cab.
Of course, yeah. That's
right?
insane.
So instrument cable, pedals,
patch,
other guitar, everything's fine. Oh, it's the cab. But it's probably 15 minutes. This is also when we didn't have samples and didn't stop making noise.
Right.
So I'm feeding back for 15 minutes.
No fucking way.
Swear to God.
So James is just there like...
It was, a disaster of a set.
Sure.
Horrible set.
Okay. We finish. I have to vomit, so I leave.
Out of pain. How long, let me ask you this, as somebody who broke their hand last year, it took a while to hurt.
Yeah. No, my adrenaline was pretty high. And
just wait. Just wait.
Okay.
Well, so anyway, we go upstairs. Hofacker comes up to us and says, "Hey, I don't want to be in the band anymore," and also quits. And we leave for a tour, at the time, and maybe it was 3 days, 4 days.
I think that show was probably a Friday or Saturday, and we left Monday.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now 2 members of the band
in a week.
So what material was out at this time? Reality Approaches, No Gods?
No Gods wasn't out yet.
No.
Oh.
Imprisoned.
Yeah, Imprisoned, the self-titled. Come on in, Nick, friend of the show.
Hey, Nick, friend of the show, Nick here.
So so just the first 2 7-inches and the first LP was out, and we were actively writing for No Gods.
Okay.
We
and No Gods would kind of change everything.
So this is an important part. Hofacker also, when he quit, was hilarious. He was there with his girlfriend at the time, who was a doctor, who was like, "You should probably get that checked out." That was it.
That's broken.
And then Hofacker was our money man at the time, which is hilarious to think about, and had a checkbook on him, signed. He was like, "The band has this much money in my account. Here you go. I quit."
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what did you do on the way home? It's one of my favorite parts of this whole story.
This is a really dumb thing to do.
Did you go to McDonald's?
No, I actually don't know. I might have, but to prove to myself that I didn't break my arm, I decided to drive with the arm all the way home with one arm. Just so I can steer the wheel. I can rotate fine.
What was the motivation there?
I had never broken a bone till that day, and I was like, dude, I mean, I just felt like an idiot. I was like,
Sure.
can't break a fucking arm at a show.
How
Only
long? How
fucking
long
losers do
between
that.
the break and stepping into the ER?
All right, so this is actually really funny. So I didn't, and I also didn't want to tell my parents,
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know, I just graduated college. Like, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to fucking tell my parents I broke my arm at a show. So I go to bed, I wake up and move my arm like literally a millimeter, and I literally like cry in pain. And then my parents weren't home. I get in my fucking Ford Escort and drive myself to the emergency room with one arm again, only now the other arm.
Yeah, the one.
And they're like, yeah, it's just a fracture.
Yeah, you
fractured
broke
arm.
your arm. They gave you a blue cast.
Big blue cast.
I'll never forget.
Yep.
Did you get
And
the
what's
cast day of?
Day of.
Or did you have to? Wow. So this is like the exact same thing happened to me, but last year. And again, I tried to go to sleep because I was like, this is probably. I just bruised it, you know?
Of course.
I
Yeah.
hurt the 10.
And then I woke up and
course.
it was like twice the size and purple. And it was like, I don't think that's supposed to happen.
Yeah,
So
no.
might as well ask
So-
somebody.
So then the tour happens. This is this is the whole other thing. Is like we have to teach A-Ross. This is where A-Ross comes in. He was able to do the tour, and we have to teach him all the guitar parts. Andrew learns the guitar parts. The only jacket he could fit his arm in is like a huge like army trench coat. So this fucking psycho is walking around in like
yeah, I forgot about
he's
that.
walking around in like Air Max 90s, sweatpants, and a trench coat.
Wow.
And we're like loading into venues. This is still very DIY harm's way. Like I don't even know if we had a booking agent yet. I think we probably
It might have
did.
been. It might have been Bailey.
Yeah, so it's that long ago, and we're in a cargo van,
Oh God.
and we do the whole tour. We go to Vegas for the first time,
And
That
he's
was
casted
fucking
up this
awesome.
whole time.
The whole time, dude. We love
sign
the you know the Wheel of Fortune slot machine.
Do I know the Wheel of Fortune slot machine?
I mean, come on, that was a bad question.
Are you fucking kidding me, Bo? I'm an amateur professional gambler.
So I was talking to him about that today. So when it was time for a spin, the cast would hit it, dude. Cast is lucky.
Oh,
Yeah, we used to.
You hit
we
the
put
rod
that-
or the button? You switch,
Oh,
you
yeah.
alternate?
We alternate.
Casted the button.
Yeah, but he would cast the button.
But I think it was, that was funny because it was the first time as a band we'd gone to Vegas. We went to Old Vegas.
Yeah.
I think we went to Golden Nugget actually.
Classic.
And we just parked the van.
Dude, because we had some terrible drive, and we were like, if we drove all night and all morning and go straight to Loden, we could go to Vegas for like 6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the drives like once you get past like Denver for people in the Midwest are like fucking miserable.
Desolate.
Like there, it's like
Especially at that time.
yeah.
That was Edge Network era.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Motherfuckers don't know the pain of when your phone hit Edge Network.
You just might as well have thrown it up.
Hours of torment, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the salt. Like I just remember like the salt flats. Like it's like hey, we had these cool shows in California. Like you're gonna play Reno, then you're gonna play Salt Lake, then you're gonna play Denver, then you're gonna drive 10 hours to Omaha.
Minimum 10 to wherever
like-
the next thing is.
Yeah, fucking ridiculous. Yeah,
While in Vegas, God, it's an ugly story, but one of us met a guy who the member of us. I don't want to point out who because it's a little weird, but it wasn't either of he or I. How about
Okay.
that? Met a guy, got along with him, bought the guy a drink. I think like gambled with him a little bit or something, and then to like repay him, the guy had a young lady come up and was like, "Hey, do you want to go hang out?" And the member of our touring party was like, like, no, thank you, no. And like she walked away, and our guy apologized to other guy. He was like, sorry, man, I didn't, no offense or anything. It's just not really my scene or whatever. He's like, don't worry about it, man. You think money or girls run Vegas? This is what runs Vegas, and pulls out like crack rocks in his hand.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, she just wanted this. Don't worry about it. I'll get her next time. Kind of
dark.
A thing. Very dark.
Yeah.
And it was like a all of us kind of went, oh.
It's like some Leaving Las Vegas shit.
Yeah, we all kind of like grew up a little bit, like 4% there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was also that same tour I'll never forget. Was when we were going to Omaha and they were like, "Hey, we got a bunch of snow.
Oh, yeah.
We got like 5 feet of snow.
Okay.
So just so you know, like be careful." And we're like, we're from Chicago. You didn't get 5 fucking like please.
5 feet.
Like maybe the drifts are 5 feet, like at the corners with the plows, but please. We get there and there are snow drifts taller than houses.
Dude, wow. I mean, it actually snowed 60 inches. Like it was like we had no business going to this show.
No, we shouldn't have even.
It's also the time where Harlem's Way almost died as well.
Yeah. That's where I was going with it. He was driving. Fucking, you tell the story.
Dude,
well, I've had a couple of those.
Well, obviously, you know, we play this show. Obviously, the show is fucking abysmal. Like,
because it's in the middle of a blizzard.
Yeah, who's going? Who's leaving their house for that?
And it's a house show. No one's going.
I think somehow we ordered pizza. I remember we ordered like Domino's, delivered it somehow to the show.
Yeah.
And then we had to drive from Omaha to home, which is what, like 9 hours?
Something like that. Eight or nine, yeah.
And so it's not
too bad.
Wow.
You drive across all of Iowa and then all of Illinois.
Wow.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's not a great drive, but but anyway, I'm driving. You know, we're in the cargo van, right? With all of our equipment sitting on top of it.
This was actually not to be pedantic, but this was when we had it all at the back.
Oh,
and we were like using it as like a headrest. So we could like lay with our feet facing forward in the direction of the van, and we're using it like a headboard.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously not the safest way to do anything.
No.
But at the time, the cheapest way to tour was to do a cargo van. So
and that's just like the danger of it is kind of a little fun, you know. Like,
it's a little. It's a little like
here. You can.
Yeah.
We're
yeah.
DIY,
No.
dude.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, I'm driving. I fucking hit black ice. Like, you know, it might have been maybe 10 minutes into the drive.
Yeah, it was very
like
early on. Yeah.
In the
you guys
van.
ready to go home? Whoa.
Yeah. Straight up.
Yeah. And I remember Bo telling me that you could feel the equipment like shifting, right? As the van went from the left lane to the right lane to the left lane.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
And somehow I was able to stabilize the van without because I mean, if there was a car on either side of us, you're
toast.
Yeah.
100%.
But we were lucky there wasn't, obviously there wasn't anyone on the road except us because we were stupid. And yeah, we fucking, even leveled it out. And
that was when
we just went on.
I remember that was when I thought to myself, okay, James is a good driver. Like James is an aware driver. Like he turned out of this tailspin and I'm not ground up into ground beef.
Yeah.
Good,
I mean,
good for you for having, James, are you the wheelman generally?
I mean, Bo and I are.
Okay. Right. We talked about this.
Yeah. It's probably like 70-30 at most. I do the night stuff. He does the day stuff for the most part.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always felt more comfortable driving.
Who's the only one here who's ever crashed the van, James?
Well, I recently did something dumb.
That was at home. That don't count.
It's true. That's true, isn't it? It doesn't count.
Don't count, man. If you had the trailer, it wouldn't have happened.
Friendly fire. Doesn't matter.
I was actually going to the hardware store to buy deck boards to fix my deck. I stopped at Speedway to get a fountain drink, actually.
To do a fountain drink with you.
I backed out. I mounted the curb thinking, okay, well, I have the van. Who cares?
Yeah.
Not realizing that at the end of that curb is a large red pole.
Classic.
And I just fucking, I mean, it's dry. Obviously the van is drivable, but now we're getting a little bit of tire friction, which I'm not too happy about. But
what's funny is he texted the group chat and he was like, just so you guys know, this happened. I was very angry.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's one of those dry James sentences that that should not be.
He doesn't mean it shouldn't be funny.
But it is.
Boy.
yeah.
Let's
I still
talk
got the
fountain
deck
drinks.
board.
Yeah, let's talk fountains.
Let's get into what the people. Let's give the people what they want.
We're gonna clash heads here, Kyle.
Are we?
To be honest with you. Yeah.
Why? Because you like freestyle? Because you hate freestyle?
I mean, yeah.
Well, you live in a place that doesn't care about you.
Brother, we've had them all over, and they're all bad.
Not with me.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm a very Coca-Cola purist.
If I want a Diet Coke, I shouldn't have to do all this shit. Just give me a Diet Coke. I don't want to taste root beer.
I mean, I would say the first place I've actually ever had it was Noodles and Company. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, like every single time I've had it at Noodles and Company, Wendy's, they have it at Wawa. I don't know what it is, but every single time it tastes like Barks. And that's a problem. If we're judging,
Problem.
like, obviously the fountain drink reviews are, comedic, but there is obviously some seriousness to it because I take my pop seriously. I don't want to have a fucking, place, have a nice burger. I'm not drinking fucking water. I'm not drinking.
I'm with you there, man.
We're carbo heads.
We need carbonation.
Gotta have
involved.
Food don't go down the same with a smooth liquid behind it.
Absolutely not.
1,000%.
And I just figured hey, I literally probably, 4 or 5 times a week, I get a fountain drink from, various places. And you know what? I said, there's not a guide to where, what place has the best. So I figured, I needed to fill the void in the, food a review culture.
Those are the best ideas of the no-brainers,
What don't we have? I can be that.
Yeah, where can I go? I can be like, what, I was thinking Shake Shack, but I don't know what their carbonation is like.
They had a weird system today. We dined in.
I didn't like that.
I spoke
they
right
do
over
it for you. You can't.
They do it for you, and then when I went to get he and I a refill, new cup.
Yeah.
That's so wasteful.
It's not wasteful. It's hygienic.
It is if you're giving me a small cup. If you gave me a large, I wouldn't need a refill.
It's hygienic.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, if I'm watching you fill it up,
they're going to recycle that. So don't worry. It'll be back. You'll use it again eventually.
Theoretically, dude. To recycle something.
No theory at Shake Shack. It's proven.
To recycle, so they clean each individual cup because if there's any organic matter on a recycled thing, they can't recycle it.
I don't know.
They throw out the bag.
I made that up.
Okay,
of course you did. Shake Shack though,
how was the soda?
Better than Five Guys. Right off the bat,
yeah.
I'm gonna say that right.
Better burger?
I think so.
It's not even close.
So you're in favor
of Shake Shack?
Yeah,
of course. I love it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Shake Shack burger versus Five Guys burger is
price aside too, right?
That's the Lakers and the fucking the West Valley Barracudas, brother.
Dude, I agree. Because I mean, Bo and I beef Five Guys because it's obviously astronomically expensive for whatever stupid reason, but Shake Shack, better quality, better tasting, and better value.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like barely, but better value.
Yes,
but because the meal is so much better, you're happier paying it.
Sure.
I got a burger and a drink for $12.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Bad. That's not bad.
I feel like, and it was a bacon avocado burger. I feel like that at Five Guys, I'd have to take out alone.
The thing is, and people compare Shake Shack and In-N-Out and In-N-Out. I don't know if I stumbled there. And that's an unjust thing.
I agree.
Because economically, nothing compares to In-N-Out.
Nothing. And here's and we've talked about this, and I think you and I agree. Like, we enjoy In-N-Out. We love, would you be kind of bummed if In-N-Out opened in Chicago? Everywhere?
Absolutely.
Because I like it to be a treat. Like I said the last time, I like it. I like to have it when I'm there because it means I'm in California. I'm on tour. I'm doing something.
I get it.
And there is simply no better value.
Dude, it's Costco hot dog, In-N-Out.
That's twice you used Costco hot dog this week, huh?
I have.
I saw it.
It's on my mind.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I think like to me, In-N-Out is not in the same tier though as like, something like Shake Shack.
Well, to me, it removed itself from that tier by being so much more affordable
Right.
that you can't compare them. You can't compare the two. You can compare them taste wise, which to me, I'd still prefer In-N-Out.
Yeah, I think I would too, to be honest with you.
Over Shake Shack.
Just burger for burger, pound for pound.
It's just like the kind that I like.
I mean,
but I need more experience at Shake Shack. Again, I got a lettuce wrapped one today, so I can't.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You hate
I know.
yourself?
But the lettuce wrapped one at In-N-Out,
Delicious.
fantastic.
that's true.
It kept me
Way
alive
crispier
during
lettuce.
the keto days, brother.
That's what I'm saying. And way crispier lettuce. The ingredients, man. In-N-Out's, they got it.
Well,
they get it. They got it.
I will say, like, I've been accused of being a serial overscorer recently.
But we made a discovery, didn't we?
We did, and that's really my scale that I rate is really 1 through 5.
Okay.
Because as a teacher, I rate things based on a grading scale, right? So if it's really good, it's always going to be in the 9s because that's an A, et cetera. Because Bo said, I said my top 3 burgers, fast food wise, were Culver's 1, In-N-Out. That's number 1 for me.
We're big fans.
I gotta try it.
You got to try it.
And in part, I will say partly that's accessibility because I can get Culver's every day if I wanted.
We can get Culver's as easily as you can get In-N-Out. It's just that kind of thing.
In-N-Out's 2 for me.
Love it.
3 is the Dave's Double.
Big fan.
So
Very interesting.
Both our moms are named Wendy, by the way. How about that?
yeah,
That's I mean,
true.
then it's a strong bias.
It is. But I mean, trying to think of other fast food places. We had this conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
Like what other fast food burgers are better than those 3?
I think the Big Mac smokes the Dave's Double.
Really?
Yeah,
How
but-
interesting.
But I'm like, but
agree.
that's a personal thing for me. I get that most people don't
Is
feel
it
that way.
is it the Thousand Island, the mac sauce?
I
Is it
love
like
it.
that.
Dude, I put
is
it
that
on-
what does it?
Oh, big time. I'll do extra mac sauce. I'll put mac sauce on anything I get there.
Wow.
I've been removing the third bun lately, which is new for me. Dude, the lettuce, it's so shredded. It's everywhere. You got to pick up them crumbs from the thing after.
Oh, dude, I fucking hate shredded lettuce.
You hate shredded
shit's-
lettuce?
I hate it. It's like shredded lettuce is the most useless thing ever
Oh,
invented.
dude, I'll pick up the little cardboard thing and be like,
Oh my gosh.
shake it in because it's got the sauce on it still. I would also say the double Whoppers
man.
better than the Dave's Double.
No, I can't. I really love Dave's Double.
You
but
can't
again,
eat the double Whopper because there's mayo on it.
Well, I get everything with ketchup only. So my scale is within my own box. You know what I mean? Which I'm not saying is better or worse than anyone's. I'm just saying
Better
I'm
not.
consistent. I'm consistent
You are.
regardless. You know what I mean?
Dude, Wendy's quality burger though.
Never frozen.
Dude, it's a better quality burger than both Burger King and McDonald's. I would say out of any fast food restaurant, though, I go to McDonald's the most.
Yeah.
Because
The goat.
it's consistently what it is, and it's also the cheapest.
For sure.
Like,
Dude, you use the app?
I don't.
I
You
do.
got to get on the app.
The app's great because you can just pick. You just boop.
Dude, I have a game-changing deal every time I go.
Oh yeah, the deals.
The
Dude,
deals are huge. I get like my nuggets for free
Yeah.
or something. There's like Fridays, dude. Large fry for $1.
Wow.
You gotta get
Yeah,
on the app.
I do.
When I realized that I liked spice suddenly,
Sure.
I was, for whatever reason, I was obsessed with putting like sriracha on nuggets, on McNuggets.
Yeah.
And on the app, 40 nuggets for $10.
I mean, that's quite the deal. It's quite the deal.
40.
People in Germany are listening to this and being like,
Was? Was habt ihr gesagt? They have no idea.
I mean, I will say the 2 things I consistently get from McDonald's are the quarter pounder with cheese, because I love the whole onion on there.
Yeah. I'm not an onion guy, and I like the quarter
And then
pound onion.
Dude, the McDouble bundle is probably the best deal there.
What is the bundle? We don't have them in the city. That's the one thing about McDonald's is like he has access to different deals in the burbs than I do in the city.
I imagine you get them marked up McDonald's, Bo. They're all privately owned, so you got the fucking
Yeah.
the shyster guy. James got the nice suburban grandpa who's
Hey there, how's it going?
owning it as a hobby.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, it's nothing special, but it's just the McDouble with fries. It's $3.20, and like,
I mean, I've never heard of such a deal.
Do you remember the 2 McDoubles for $3?
That's still going on here, but it's 2 for $3.50.
Yeah. So
fucking thanks.
Inflation.
Thanks, Uncle Joe.
yeah, I mean, I usually get the McDouble bundle with a large diet Coke.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
You
my
get
standard.
one McDouble?
I mean, I usually go there. I rarely do I eat McDonald's as like dinner.
No, it's like it's a transitionary.
It's exactly.
Transitional meal.
I'm a little peckish. I need something.
Yeah.
And I would love a Coke.
Exactly.
I mean, dude,
Yeah.
the $1 soda,
Unbelievable. Revolution.
the greatest marketing decision maybe in the history of food.
Yo, but hold on. They recently stopped. At least at my McDonald's.
I actually noticed that. Remember last night I went when you guys went to Rita's, I got a couple McDoubles and a Coke, and it was $1.50.
Yeah, it's $1.50.
This is devastating news live on HardLore. This is an exclusive, actually.
HardLore.
I mean, it is fucking bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Because McDonald's fucking soda, whatever, the inflation doesn't fucking matter for them.
I don't think anything matters for McDonald's.
For Ronald, dude, Ronald's fine. I just talked to him on the phone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I noticed that recently that like, it's with tax it's almost $2.
Get out of town. I think it's still going strong. Let's check the app live on the show.
Check it.
I mean,
I got the next thing I want to talk to you about.
Me?
No, I talk to you all the time. I want to talk to this guy I haven't seen in
fucking tell
20
me about
years.
It, man. Free Fry Friday. See that?
there it is.
Hey, have you tried the affogato yet? The
What did you call me?
the soft serve and the cold brew. Have you tried that yet?
No, is it good?
Dude, I haven't tried it yet, but I keep getting ads for it, and frankly, it looks amazing.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
I will not rest until the damn spicy nuggets come back. Oh my god, it's $1.99.
Dude,
This is horrible.
End of an era. Hey, HardLore exclusive.
This is one of the worst things to ever happen to me.
Breaking news.
Come on.
$2?
We know.
McDonald's? Who are you? Taco Bell?
Oh,
Dude, fucking Pepsi. Give me a break.
But Mountain
let's
Dew.
talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Anytime.
This man loves Arnold Schwarzenegger, both from a fitness standpoint, from a human being standpoint, from a acting standpoint, and frankly, I don't disagree even a little bit.
Yeah. What top 3 Arnold?
There we go.
Dude, top 3 Arnold movies. Oof. Bo and I have had this discussion many times. Man, this is hard.
Predator 1. It's not even close.
That's
Predator is not. It's in the top 3.
Predator's not 1.
Not number 1.
I think you're objectively wrong there.
how
Because I think that is the great. Like T2, I wouldn't call T2 straight action. You know, I would say it's a sci-fi action movie. Which
so the movie with
Predator
the
is
movie with
too,
the alien. Yeah,
but I also
exactly.
think it's in terms of pure action, a higher degree. So I would call Predator
takes place in the alien universe.
I know. No, I know that there is a science fiction element to it, to the story.
Well,
but in terms of action wise, that's straight up.
I wouldn't say science fiction element. I mean, it's clearly science fiction.
Well, that's yet to be
fucking
seen. It could just be
There's
science.
a hunting alien,
With camouflage and heat-seeking
Soon
vision.
enough, that will be a fucking documentary. Okay, and you will eat your words. And it's an action documentary.
What's your top?
Well, Terminator 2, I think, is 1.
Yep.
Fair.
Predator is 2.
Mm-hmm.
Terminator 1 would probably be 3 for me.
Really?
It's the same for me.
Terminator 1 over any of the comedies? I know for a fact You watch Jingle All the Way more than you watch Terminator 1.
Not me.
Yes, you. We've
Really?
spoken about it.
Me?
You, throughout your life, have seen Jingle All the Way more than you've seen Terminator 1.
Because you're going to watch Jingle All the Way yearly at least.
Guarantee it.
I mean, I would say it's probably close, but a lot of times Jingle All the Way is not out of choice. It's just on.
Yeah, but how fucking good does it end up feeling when it's just on?
But well, Jingle All the Way is incredible. I'm not arguing, but dude, like Terminator 1, like
Horror, straight up.
it's fucking incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with
you. And then you have Conan,
Oh,
Conan,
which is
Conan's
also
both of them.
underrated.
Underrated, yeah.
Like I think people forget. And then you have like some of the more ridiculous, like dude, Commando.
True Lies.
Commando's absolutely bonkers.
Eraser.
I love Commando because it's obviously like ridiculous.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, the animated GIF of like the suiting up, like it's just like iconic.
But
Running
Kindergarten
Man.
Cop.
Oh, Running. Oh,
See, Running Man, I think is one of the least good action movies.
It's just
but I like it.
It's of an era. You know, Total
Time and
Recall
place.
is probably number 3
Dude.
for me. I would say.
I love Total Recall.
fuck. I kind of forgot. I might put Total Recall above T1.
I'd probably go Predator T2 Total Recall.
Okay.
I mean, Total Recall is great. I've watched probably Total Recall more than Terminator 1 by far.
You heard it. There you go.
Dude, the twist of Terminator 2 with the T-800 being the good guy, right, was so like shocking to me. I remember watching it because obviously I wasn't old enough to watch it when it came out.
Sure.
I think I probably watched it on TV, like edited with my dad, you know, when I was of age. But I had seen Terminator 1. So, like, when he's going after Danny and they're in the fucking LA River, like, that whole shit is fucking. Dude, that sequence when dude from Salute Your Shorts doesn't sell him out to the cop.
Dude,
that
legendary.
Legendary. That poor bastard who's like, hey, you can't be back here, and then just gets shot to shit. Unbelievable. And then like that whole sequence of running the dirt bike, the chopper, the fucking like that whole thing might be the best out of all of his shit. Like the best thing that he's involved in.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that that's all like practical action aside from the liquid metal stuff is absolutely bonkers.
Dude.
Do you know what's hilarious though is when there's like the jump when he's jumping on the chopper and it's just not Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, dude, it's so clearly a
Just
devil. It's
a
awesome.
guy.
Yeah, I love
Dude,
that shit.
that's funny. Dude, you want to know? So 2 things about Terminator 2. It's the first movie I remember going to the video store with and my dad and I renting.
Fuck, what a memory.
Like, I remember like them, you know, like going to like whatever Blockbuster or whatever, and they had, 50,
Yeah.
you know,
T2.
because it had just
day.
come out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And we watched it together. Had to be like 5 or 6. My dad did not care much about, what I watched. And then another cool story about Terminator 2. What's the actor's name who plays
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. No, the
kid?
No, not the kid. Is it the T2000 or
T1000?
T1000.
I forget his name.
Forget the guy he's in Peacemaker.
The guy from Wayne's World.
He's seen his dad.
All right, so my sister's fiance, Corey, shout out Corey.
Corey.
He works on like sets, like similar to what you do. You still do that, Colin?
No, thank God.
No. All right. So, but he's like more in charge of like prop design and things like that.
Sick.
He was working on a show with him, and for some reason they had to use liquid nitrogen for something, and he like was carrying it towards where they were going to use it, and he goes, "Whoa, don't put that around me," as a joke towards being the T1000. And I thought, like, dude, how cool.
Yeah.
About like people probably ask him, like literally the only thing I can remember that guy being in is the fucking Sopranos.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's David.
Yeah.
That's right. You're right. We were just talking about
That's
that.
it. I mean, it's just cool. I thought that was like so cool that he like.
I mean, he's playing an iconic villain against who ended up being, this iconic guy's most iconic role.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna own that and be like, yeah, that's fucking me, bitch.
I hope he's getting residuals for.
You know how often is T2 on fucking TNT?
Fucking.
They're getting paid.
I love the movie, dude. You actually bring up a good point. You know what I really don't like, Colin, is actors who are just like, yeah, I was in that. Like, don't talk to me about it.
They're fumbling the bag, man. Going to conventions now and just being like, I was in this movie you like.
Dude, like, I know he's old and crotchety, and I know he was never really that into it anyway, but Harrison Ford bums me out with Han Solo.
But the thing is, he's been like that the whole time.
I know, but it's still
he has
like,
to be written out of Empire.
I know.
So,
but it's still just like, dude, come on.
I know.
Like, this is one of the movies for people.
He hates Star Wars fans. It's crazy.
Hates it, and like that bums me out. Arnold did the thing the other day, like a couple years ago, with the Conan sword. Like, he's the man. Care. He's the man,
dude. Do you know why? Whenever you see Mondo or something do Terminator stuff, they don't put his face on it generally.
Who, Arnold's?
Yeah, it'll be like other characters from the movies and like just the skull. Because the likeness, the rights to his likeness is like a flat, like 50K fee or something.
Fuck yeah. Dude, how about Last Action Hero?
That is number 4, probably.
It's a great movie. Sly being the term. Dude, come on.
Huge.
So fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another underrated.
Very underrated.
Big time.
Charles Dance being the villain. And I didn't know who he was until Alien 3 and then fucking Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah. It's true.
Dude, I mean, I would honestly watch any of those movies anytime they're on.
Didn't we watch Commando together in Europe?
Yeah, I believe so.
In the Sprinter.
There's
that one picture of you where he's like looking at a deer, and there's a picture of James just like.
I mean, yeah, it's just that movie is the most ridiculous Arnold movie, but I mean, he just was an action icon. Changed the game, man.
100%. He paved the way for The Rock and all those guys.
Dude, absolutely. Yeah. That's a really good point.
And like, I personally don't like a lot of The Rock's movies, but I watch them.
Yeah,
of course,
because I like The Rock,
and I like him. Yeah.
And I'll continue to watch him.
He's a draw.
You know,
he's like a legit draw. It's like The Rock's in it. I guess I'm going.
I guess I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw San Andreas. I had a time.
Yeah, exactly.
That movie.
Let's get back to Harm's Way a little bit.
All right, let's
Where
do
do we
it.
get
I wanted
here?
to talk about Linda Hamilton a little bit, but it's
Oh
fine.
Lord,
dude,
anytime.
Definitely formative for me. I've realized like her being an ass beater in T2 is definitely.
Is it so? You're saying it's a point of attraction?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you like a chick who can do a pull up.
I like a strong woman. What can I say?
Dude, you know what's interesting is like my dad, anytime I would talk about Terminator, I'd be like, Linda Hamilton, man. And I never got it.
Yeah.
You're literally the only other person I've ever heard say that Linda Hamilton is attractive. It's particularly in Terminator 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that she's like hot. It's attractive. Same with like Sigourney.
This is
Sigourney Weaver in Alien.
This is peak white male podcast.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it's so good. Like, I don't even think she's hot, but I think she's sexy.
No, but I'm saying the image of that is like ingrained.
Yeah, I get it, man. I love a strong woman.
But I mean, honestly, both of those characters, are kind of first of their kind, like,
strong heroines
in like big action movies.
Ripley in particular is like way ahead of her time.
Wasn't that 79, Colin?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah,
what the fuck?
Maybe 78. Honestly, it was early.
Amazing.
It's fucking awesome.
Let's talk about Harm's Way.
Yeah. So No Gods was obviously. I was a fan, as you've seen from the footage from episode 1 of this podcast. When did the relationship with Justin and Closed Casket start? How did he reach out to you?
That would be, Chris isn't here right now. That would be a really good question for him.
I think he
shut up, dude.
No, I'm pretty sure at the time, I think Justin had just only done like
Unholy.
Unholy.
Yeah.
What was the other? He did Another Victim, like a repress.
When Tigers Fight, did he do that?
When Tigers Fight.
Yep.
I'm like 80% sure that he contacted us about it, putting out a record.
And we talked to him at the infamous Sound and Fury, the motorcycle Sound and Fury year.
That was
talked to
then,
him outside.
really?
No.
No, that was 2010.
Yeah. Isolation came out 2011.
That's crazy. But
We talked
he
to
did.
him outside of the venue.
Did he
at
not
the Santa
do No
Barbara.
Gods too? He did No Gods too, right?
No, he did do No Gods.
But oh shit, I'm sorry, you're right. But we talked to him, but it was after we had already put out a record.
It was like Justin is probably one of the biggest reasons that Harm's Way like continued to do what we have.
Right.
I mean, because the story I talked about earlier,
yeah.
like a big reason like that John Hofacker, who quit, and Caution quit, like in reality was that we were going in a different direction
Musically.
that they didn't agree with. And at the time I wrote a lot of those songs on No Gods.
I think he wrote 100% of those songs.
And I like brought like these to the table, and it was like, a pretty, obviously there had been some like metalcore aspects to Reality Approaches. Like we had started to move in that direction, but I think No Gods was kind of like really the time when we started to completely separate ourselves from that sound.
It's so funny. Like as a third party, I look at the difference between those and I go, oh, they learned how to write songs.
Well, so as Colin, as I know it went from 5 people writing to 1.
And also Caution.
And also Caution was notorious for being very difficult. If he's the kind of guy who would be like, I really don't like that riff. Okay, what about it? I don't know. But you can't play that. And like that's it.
No, because it was also in that era too, like prior to No Gods, Harm's Way was like we didn't really have a say. Like Caution would bring these riffs and it was his way or nothing.
Interesting.
And so when we kind of were like, hey, we don't want to sound like this anymore, then, obviously he ended up leaving the band.
And you found your niche.
Yeah.
And you were immediately really good at it. So I imagine for him, he was like, fuck.
Yeah, I think there was probably bitterness for like a month.
Okay.
Well, because he had Weekend Nachos, which is his, his baby.
They were killing it at the same time. So.
Which also, we were talking about that guy, A-Ross, before. It was Caution and A-Ross were the 2 original guys from Nachos.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of crossover going on.
But-
and yeah, he had his outlet with that where he remained
He was
almost
the
to the
Josta,
end,
yeah.
just the guy, yeah.
Yeah. And like with Justin, Justin, was a big part of obviously releasing No Gods. And it was kind of the first time that we started to do real stuff. Like we played United Blood, I remember.
We did United Blood.
Right after.
We did real tours. We went to Europe on it.
Went to Europe, yeah. What's funny, we always talk about if that European tour happened now, it would be like legendary.
Yeah, it was the Nails Rise and Fall.
So when we met Taylor,
Yeah, it's a big one.
But yeah, that was really the turning point for the band. And then obviously, I know, for a lot of people, like Isolation is like the record that, probably turned them on to Harm's Way the most.
Sure.
From our era at least.
Which was again,
I was OG, but
you
for
were
them,
OG,
like for sure.
as we know, you were he was a Warriors Will Reign guy. Like he heard that was that was the ticket.
Well, to be fair, I saw you at the Cobalt pre-Warriors Will Reign.
When we covered Infest.
Oh yeah,
that was a great cover. We're not really a cover. We were at the time. We were a cover band.
Yeah,
you did an intro or two.
Yeah.
Lots of Slayer intros.
Lots of Slayer. Lots of Jesus saves.
I love it. That was you. That was the post killer in you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to bring up a couple things.
Please do.
A couple corrections.
Oh,
me.
But I'll save it. I'll save it.
All right.
okay.
You want to do it now?
Do it now.
Do it now, dude. Correct.
Let it be
All right,
organic.
so the the Slayer thing that you mentioned about, it wasn't South of Heaven. They did Mandatory Suicide.
Who?
When you mentioned in the last podcast about like being the most
killing.
violent pit.
It was mandatory.
Yeah.
You're right. It was mandatory suicide. You're right.
Because I remember
I remember
that it would being like, obviously.
Do you remember how
insane.
fucking scary that was?
I wasn't physically there.
Oh, but you heard about it.
Yeah. Secondly, and Justice, I obviously love Justice, right? This actually ties into No Gods as well,
Okay.
actually. So you said on the last podcast that Justice was the first person,
Oh, that was insane.
okay, that to have brought weightlifting and kind of like this, I don't know, what would you call it?
Fit guy.
Yeah, culture into hardcore or modern hardcore.
An egregious error on my part.
But it's funny that you said that because, like, for whatever reason, like pretty much around that era of like No Gods, like Justice and I became friends before that reason. We connected. The Trapped Under Ice demo came out. They were all shirtless.
Yeah.
Kind of had like
The back of Imprisoned were all shirtless in
Yep.
his bench.
Yeah, like
rack.
Sam. Yeah, maybe a little even before No Gods. And I remember him and I talking through MySpace, right? And like, but I just thought it was funny because I was like, dude, like I was literally like, one of the only people at the time to have been into that because it was frowned upon.
Absolutely. Meathead
He's
jock
wearing the
bullshit.
the
dude.
meat cross. Yeah.
And it's funny that like, obviously in the 90s, like, that some of that culture existed and then like completely everybody was like, no, fuck that. Like we don't want any
Dude,
of that.
2000s teen comedies really, really ruined weightlifting. 'Cause it was like the fucking loser was always the hero, and
The hero, yeah.
the, like-
Can't hardly wait.
yeah, the guy who worked out is like the biggest piece of shit.
Yeah.
Sure. And obviously I don't care. I didn't take any offense.
James, I'm really
But I was
sorry.
just like, dude, I mean, I got shit
Yeah.
like for being into that for years, until, I mean, now it's like everybody works
Everybody
out.
works out, of course. And what's funny too is like even back in the day, like youth of today, like Purcell worked out, like all those dudes.
Dude,
worked out.
sure,
You know,
absolutely.
Al Baril worked out, like all of our like hardcore heyday.
They're
kind of
shredded.
Heroes were.
They're all shredded.
Yeah.
They're all shredded and playing Gibson like Les Paul.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
The
in youth
fuck is
today's
going on?
case, that's why New York didn't fuck with them.
Is that true?
You didn't hear it from me.
I thought it was Richie.
Hey, another thing that I wanted to point out that I feel like needs to be said
He was right about this one.
is
Please.
you guys were talking about death metal being popular in hardcore bands and,
Sure.
and like kind of like hardcore guys kind of moving into the death metal genre.
And so, let me apologize because not only did he text me, but Drew, the drummer from Hate Force, also texted me. The Hate Force demo came out 2013.
And so, I mean, that was me, Drew, and Todd, which, Todd has been, I don't know if he's been in any bands that, you would know aside from
Like Rats.
Like Rats,
was
yeah.
probably the closest.
but
Are you saying that? I mean, I don't think our claim was that like this is the first time it's happening. Because
no, but I'm
it's
saying
just not true.
It was like, I think what we said was like, who's good, who's around that you like.
it was you also,
And they were so, Hate Force had been around for so long that I didn't even,
yeah, I mean, we were talking about the new crop. I felt like
wave.
is the direction. That's
I thought you guys had mentioned like you talked about the originators of the hardcore death metal crossover.
no, because I feel like that would even go back pre-Hate Force at some point. They were
Way pre
like
Hate
Taylor
Force.
was in Crematorium in 2007. They were like their whole
Sure.
thing was that they were half a hardcore band and half a death metal band.
Sure. No, absolutely. I thought I was like, as a friend and
friend of the
and,
show.
and band member,
That's
I
on Bo,
felt-
100%.
I felt I felt a little.
As it all is.
As you should, James. Honestly, Bo is
Really dropped the ball.
And hey, we have a new record coming out. Hate Force does. So
yeah, that's right. We listened to the Masters.
Yeah. So, it'll be
HardLore exclusive.
When's that? What's the date?
No, I can't say.
You got test presses yet? Or?
No, we don't have nothing. I don't know. I'm just telling you that there's a new record coming out.
Understood.
I'm breaking news right now.
Yeah.
This is incredible. This is frankly incredible.
We get him. We got him.
Just kidding. But anyway, all right. So no gods. Any more questions about Harm's Way?
Yeah, let's get. Isolation. What year was that? 2011.
Yep.
2011.
Okay, so
because we just did the 10-year.
This was like also a big moment for Closed Casket. I feel like this was like Closed Casket's kind of coming out. Like this is
I
a
think
huge
Justin
record,
would say
huge
too.
label.
Yeah.
And I remember it broke our heart because we were I feel like we'll do like a 10-year sleep therapy episode at some point, but when sleep therapy, I sent it to everybody. I emailed every label under the sun. Except fucking Closed Casket for some reason.
Oh, really?
When it was weird because Taylor was like a mark for Closed Casket early. I mean that respectfully. Like Taylor ordered everything that he made. And I think we just assumed like because they kind of had this text friendship that he wasn't going to be interested. And it was legit like the day we signed the ice cream contract, Justin was like, "Yeah, I'll put it out if you haven't found anybody yet."
No.
And
way.
dude, we were so heartbroken because then
we could have been label mates from the
get go, dude. And like it took another year. Sleep Therapy was recorded July 2010.
Wow.
Came out April 2012.
Wow.
Think about
That's
that.
crazy.
Dave, real quick.
Yeah, that's crazy. Almost 2 years.
The only thing crazier than that is God's Hate record being recorded August 2019, coming out March 2021.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Fucking brutal, dude.
Isolation's a funny one because we had Dave in the band who was only in the band for one record.
Fucking loser.
Friend of the show, enemy of James. He's like one of those guys that everyone loves to hate, and if he was listening right now, he would laugh.
Okay.
Right? He would have laughed at that.
Classic James.
Yeah.
I hope that's what the listeners do when I shit on you a little bit, Bo, because it's only out.
Well, we
love.
know they don't. I get constant.
I know John
DMs
is
about how
furious,
abusive you.
but it's truly out of love. And hate.
But it was a weird one because even on the back of the record, it says like James, Crispo, Dave, Saba. Saba didn't record 1 second.
You were just excited about him being in the band. I get it.
We really were.
No, I was never excited about him. Be fun. Come on.
And then
But this is, dude, post Bad Seed.
Yeah.
It's having Saba on the roster was that was sick. I remember thinking, damn, they got the homie from Bad Seed.
How did we hook up with him? I don't even remember.
Well, this is actually what I remember actually is that we asked him to play Sound and Fury.
We needed a guitar player.
And
why did you ask him?
Because we knew he could play. Basically, he was
Because
living
you
in Santa
liked
Barbara.
Bad-
Remember, he lived in Santa Barbara for
Yeah, that's
like a
what I meant.
summer.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we had met him, I think, at Rainfest.
Yeah.
And then
I
it
think
was
so.
like, fuck, we're flying in for this only. Like, we need someone to play. Maybe that guy will do it. Like, I think it was something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. Somehow we had met or connected with him, and I just remember him going and practicing the Harm's Way songs on like a ukulele or something. It was like not even an acoustic guitar.
Like a toy guitar.
100%. I wouldn't have believed you if you said anything other than that.
Dude, but I mean, what's funny is, he was in the band for a very short time.
Very short time, as was Dave. And then we moved into Jay.
And then Nails
Jay,
stole
yep.
him from you.
Dude, yeah, let's talk about when he quit. That was another hilarious thing.
Yeah, dude, he's a fucking poser.
So So when
literal friend of the show, listener of every episode, Andrew Saber.
so
He's not my friend. I'll say that. That's breaking news right now. He's not my friend.
So we bought a van once. Dude, we did a tour with Colin, you and I were just talking about the like paying your dues thing. The first we did the Acacia Strain tour with Terror, Stray, and us, and we opened $100 a night.
Yeah, $100.
5 weeks. But what's funny is that tour at the time, the band was me, Chris, and James. It's always been me, Chris, and James.
Of course.
It was Saba, and then we had this guy Justin from Milwaukee playing bass.
You guys have had some rotating jobbers, huh?
Dude, for like 10 years until we found these two fucking angels in the room with us who like literally changed the band
Absolutely.
for the better. But like at this time, Chris couldn't do it because he was in school. We had this guy Justin for his first tour with us. Peter, it was his first tour with us doing merch. We had to get a fill-in drummer for Chris with this guy Mike, who we never spoke to again.
I can't believe you wouldn't ask me. Even if you didn't know me yet, I can't believe you.
We asked everyone.
No, we did ask you, actually.
No. You never
Dude,
did.
I think we did. I think Chris asked you.
Nope. I would have said yes.
I don't remember for sure.
Because then there was the other tour. There was the recent one where
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
where somebody else went, and I was like, guys, I'm right here. Whenever I'm touring with Harm's Way, you know for a fact I'm fucking side stage hitting every fill. I'm right there with him dude, the whole time. Chris will just look at me and be like, damn, you did that. You did that fill with me.
I mean,
dude, so Saba's in the band. We're doing tours. They're brutal. We do the European tour with Nails and Rise and Fall. Saba meets Todd and Taylor. I think he probably knew Taylor already, but you know.
No, I feel like that was them actually meeting probably.
But it was Nails as a 3-piece, right?
Yeah.
Saba, one day I used to keep the van in the city for whatever reason. We had a van for that Acacia Strain tour. It was our first van.
God.
Mm-hmm. I used to keep the van in the city. It made, for some reason, we thought it made sense because I would use it, and so I would check out it every day, kind of a thing.
Well, I think we had no place to park it, so and you didn't have a car, right?
I didn't have a car,
so it just made sense to leave it on the street. You know, like millions of other cars in Chicago are. You know,
yeah.
But
well, I woke up one day and there's no van, and there's glass on the ground. And there's a couple other people walking around the same sidewalk at my girlfriend at the time's place who were like, hey, you missing your car? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, yeah, me too. So they like hit the block. It was right by the highway. They're in Indiana, whatever. Had some gear in the back because we had just played a fest. Of a typical Harm's Way shit. This was the first of the major incidences. The best part is I texted him. I was like, yo, you were teaching, I think, subbing at the time.
You said call me when you
I was like, call me when you have a chance. And he texted me back. He said, just tell me. He knew. We talked on the phone. I explained what happened. He's like, all right, we'll do a police report, whatever. It was my first day at Whole Foods, too. I had to go. I was late to orientation.
First day fucking fish.
First day.
First day of fucking fish. Stolen?
Straight up. We text. I don't even know if there was a group. Was group chatting even a thing at the time?
I don't think so.
It was 2012.
Early iPhones.
So maybe. But anyway, Saba finds out. And what was his reaction?
I mean, he was like, all right, well.
I guess the band's breaking up.
Yeah.
What?
That was his reaction. And then we were like, well, no, like we're going to Australia.
Yeah.
Like, this sucks, but like we're going to be okay.
I guess I've got to join Nails and go on a tour with them in 3 weeks.
That's literally what it was. That's what it was. And he just quit.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're going to sit here and talk good about Saba, but I mean, dude, he's a traitor. He's an all-out traitor. And if he's got a problem, he knows where I'm at.
Breaking news.
But we did Australia then, and we had Jay. And Jay went on to write with us for Blinded and Rust. Yeah. So Jay was then in the band for quite a bit.
Oldest living musician. Jay?
Yeah, living. Yeah.
With respect. Oldest living.
With respect. We love musician. Jay. Don't see him enough.
Friend of the show, Jay, maybe.
Maybe. We went through some serious shit with Jay. When the other van died in Texas and we figured all that shit out, and Jay sold a dead van to a stranger outside of San Antonio, Texas, without the title within an hour.
For $500.
$500
as well. That a van,
Big money.
van didn't run. The guy, well, it ran enough. The guy lived down the road.
Yeah,
This is actually a pretty crazy story. I mean, I know we're probably
this is where we want to be. We're good.
all right. So, on that tour, it was one of the life and death.
I think it
tours.
was the first life and death.
And we bought this van for $2,000.
Is it a Dodge?
It was a Dodge.
With like the vinyl floor.
You were
and like the
Dodge.
shitty like
begging for disaster.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was a disaster from day one. We literally went. We purchased the van and went to exit the parking lot, and it died.
At the dealer.
And was the guy like, that guys, this never happens, I swear.
Yeah. They looked at it for us.
Well,
This is actually a feature. This is
It's anti-theft.
Yeah.
They actually did do us a solid and fixed the van.
It was the Vortex year, right? Wasn't it after the Vortex? So it had been sitting in the...
Yeah, it was like, they're like, yeah, it's been sitting in the cold. So what happened was one of the radiator pipes cracked, and they fixed it. But
I think by law, you have to, right?
Well, I think you get 14 days.
Oh, do you like
on
the
a transaction?
Law, like a lemon law?
But the thing is, literally, we were about to leave for this tour. The van breaks again. We're about to leave, so now we're like rushing, finding a mechanic, fixing it, and like pretty much since we left, it would like overheat.
Yeah,
and we'd have to like pull over. But we were making it work. I mean,
it was the middle of summer. We couldn't use the AC. Sometimes we had to turn on the heat in order to keep it from overheating.
These are the these are the things that people don't know. Go into just getting to a show for every band.
God.
If you're
this is us in the 2000s. What's going on in the 80s?
Oh my God, I can only imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if you're going to a show and a band not from your state is playing and they're not on a bus, they spent a lot of fucking money to be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Get a shirt.
Yeah, buy one shirt, please.
God.
And so this was one of those things where like every day it was like, okay, James is like, I'm gonna wake up early and go to a mechanic and have this looked at. Oh, I think it's a sensor. We're gonna have this checked out. Oh,
like literally every show, we'd go drive to wherever, like whatever hotel or whatever place we're staying, and the check engine light would come on. And it was a different problem every time.
Different code every time.
Different code. Wow. We were replacing sensors on the daily.
Left and right.
And dude, we're fucking in San Antonio.
This
is actually a hilarious story.
It was after Andrew got big mad at us at this show. We all went to see the Alamo. We forgot that Andrew needed to get into the van.
Yeah.
And Bitter End was about to play, and Andrew couldn't get his shit because he was playing bass for Bitter End.
Yeah.
He was very big mad at us, which fine.
Rightfully so.
But
he wasn't there for loading.
Well, this is just Harm's Way being professional Harm's Way, because we just used to not give a fuck and just show up when we showed up, and that's not okay at this point. But
we weren't quite full time yet. It wasn't like really the job yet.
But anyway, it was Chris's birthday. Okay, the show ends late because obviously there was 7 bands, 8 bands, whatever. And so we start driving to the next show, which is in New Mexico. Mm-hmm. And Chris, we're like, okay, let's try to go somewhere that's open for your birthday. We basically have to land on that place, Taco Cabana, right, because it's the only place that's open. Chris pulls up with the van. It's fucking closed. And we're literally on that edge of San Antonio where if you go any further, you're in the desert.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Chris fucking is pissed, fucking gets back on the highway, literally floors the van that's literally, at this point,
Frankenstein.
made of
held together
Fisher-Price
with rubber
parts.
bands and fish hooks.
Straight up.
fucking the thing explodes basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like
He's
like,
going on an entrance ramp and it's just like,
and it just like explodes. There's fucking coolant spraying everywhere. We're like, dude, this is
like
fucked.
it just died. Like the van's dead. Like
Yeah.
we're fucked. It's 1 a.m. We're on the side of a highway in the desert of Texas.
Yeah. And what's so funny is this is where Andrew Baker is literally like, honestly.
Oh,
one
he
of the
was with
funniest
you at
people.
this time?
Oh yeah,
He's with us.
This is merch era Baker.
This is last tour, I think. Dude, we pull over and he just starts like moshing the van. He starts spin kicking the van.
No, wait, dude, hold on. Bitter End drove past us. Pull over. Daniel calls us and is like,
Oh,
"Yo,
yeah,
I
yeah.
have AAA. Do you want me to call them?" We're like, "Yes,
Legend.
please."
What a fucking guy.
A legend. The van is getting put onto a fucking tow bed, and that's when Baker starts spin kicking it.
Dude, he was like we were just all just kicking the van like as hard as we possibly could. And Baker's over here doing his like fake metalcore mosh.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen
Colin,
it many
exactly.
Dude, he like so like the mood is like lightning, but like basically we're like, dude, we're fucked. Like our van, like that we not only do we have to find a new van, but we now have a full 15 passenger van full of gear. We need to find where to go.
So we have the AAA thing take us to a hotel, like a Holiday Express that we can find, and we don't. It like unloads the van. We check in, and we all just go to bed because we're so like fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just wanted to go home.
We wake up the next day, and James and I literally like look at each other and we're like, all right, we got to find a rental. We look up like a rental place. There's one Enterprise in whatever town that we're in.
Yeah, I can't believe I don't know the name because it was like literally life saving.
One Enterprise. We call them. They're open. They were like, we don't have anything of that size. All that we have is a minivan that's at a car dealership that's like holding an Enterprise sign on the side of it.
Like,
if you want it, we'll pull it down for you. But we close in 45 minutes. You got to get here.
Oh my God.
We don't have a vehicle and we're in the fucking desert.
Yeah.
So James and I immediately, it's like, okay, let's go. We get dressed. We tell Jay. Jay tried to sell the broken van. We got to go.
Unbelievable.
Dude, within an hour.
Well, remember we had to get a ride from that dude?
Oh, yeah. The guy from the fucking maintenance guy from the hotel offered to drive us to the
These are made up
Enterprise.
things that somehow.
Dude, I know it sounds like a fucking movie, but he was like, I'll give y'all a ride. And we like straight up got in his car or truck, I think.
Yeah.
He
It
took
was
us
a
to-
pickup truck.
The pickup truck.
What's crazy about it is the Enterprise was like, we're leaving at 12. If you're not here by 12, then we're
that's
we're
it.
closing for the weekend.
Wow.
So
And we're trying to get to California,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
We're trying to make money.
Yeah.
Like we're going west. We fucking
can't miss
need to
these,
get
yeah.
there.
no. So we somehow a guy on Craigslist contacts Jay. He agrees. He's like, I'll take the van off your hands. I'll give you $250 up front. Once I receive the title, I'll give you the other 250. I'll give you 500.
So he's doing that while we're at the Enterprise. We get the minivan. We get back. We have to switch all the shit over.
Dude, I to this day, I don't know how we literally put all of the gear and all of the merch in a minivan
And our bags.
with fucking, we had 7 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emily Chancellor
And-
was with you too, right?
She was
Not at this
she was
time.
going to be with us. At this time, Andrew wasn't even with us. He went with Bitter End.
Okay.
Or no, the van broke. Bitter
Oh, yeah,
End
he
saw
went
us,
with
and
Bitter
then
End.
he was like, "Well, I got to play for Bitter End." Went with them.
Yeah. So at this point, in an hour's time, we literally sold the van without the title, got a rental
This
vehicle.
all happened in one day?
Dude, this happened in like an hour and a half, Colin.
Oh, wow.
Like we literally woke up. I honestly think that they closed at 11.
Well, I just mean
it
from
was-
the van exploding.
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
Yeah,
rental,
this is all in one day.
This is 12 hours.
Wow.
And then we decided, like, hey, we can't make obviously the show in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Which probably wasn't good anyway.
Oh,
It
no.
wasn't good. We heard afterwards. Yeah, yeah.
And then we I think we just were like, okay, we got to make it to I think it
Tucson.
was Tucson. Yeah. So we
You're not
fucking-
missing Tucson. Tucson rocks.
dude.
Dude.
One of the most memorable things is, like I said, somehow we fucking like I remember Bo was fucking ratcheting.
I'm on the roof of this minivan, like ratcheting all of our bags down with a
merch.
tarp. Like, dude, we had to take LPs out of the boxes so that we could like stash them in between seats. Like just chaos. The worst.
And then I remember we had one of the most iconic meals of all time. We went to Chili's and everybody was so exhausted. But
how hard did that fucking Chili's go because of how shot you were?
Oh my God.
I remember we drank like
how many Dr. Peppers?
Like there was
I must have had me about 15 Dr. Peppers.
Dude, I mean, we were quoting that because it was like every time he came back with refills, it was like, keep them coming, brother. Like we're dying.
Yeah, I mean,
I no joke. You know, Chili's has like the big cups. I probably had 5. Which is like, that's a lot.
That's an 8.5 fountain.
That's 700 calories probably.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I just remember.
Crushing.
And then we just fucking hightailed
We drove straight from San Antonio-ish to Tucson.
Dude.
It's so crazy that happened so fast.
And we had to convince every other band to take our shit. We got one of those Thule, like, turtle top things to put our stuff in. Emily ended up coming and fitting in, and Andrew did too, and we finished the tour, and it was...
I don't even know. To this day, that is one of the most challenging things, aside from getting our trailers stolen, which that's actually... that's when I thought the band was done.
Right? We thought the band was done then.
Sure.
When it was he and I, we were ahead of the group. The guys are gone. Everyone else in this band is fucking slow. Physically, like walking slow.
Can't stand
James and I got places to go. We got to pee. We need a Coke. We got things to do.
Yeah.
We wake up at the Luxor and we go downstairs and it's he and I who like we were both doing the thing I told Colin before where it was like there was like a tree and we're like, is the van behind the trailer behind the tree or what's going on here? And then, but there was like about a 45-minute, maybe hour period where I was like, okay, well, I'm flying home. Like the band's done.
I mean that's also another scenario where it's like, hey, like, if we don't do this tour, like, we're going to be in $20,000 of debt,
if not more.
Nobody thinks of. I mean, this is obviously. I made your GoFundMe personally, so I know. Yeah. I knew that was an option.
Fucking legend.
Like, you don't even think about that at the moment. You're just like, well, I'm ruined. My life is over. Because we had,
as you know it,
we had the same thing happen where on Life and Death, our beloved van that Taylor bought himself the day before our first U.S. tour because nobody else would supply one. So Taylor was just like, all right, I guess I'm buying one.
This is the Life and Death with no warning.
The Life and Death with no warning. It lasted beautifully up until then. And
we took it on those Disgrace shows.
See?
Oh, yeah.
The last, I think it was like the last 3 or 4 days, it's dead. Taylor and I buy a new van straight up in Connecticut. Another E3, the same exact van, but a little newer.
Yeah.
Dies immediately. So we take it back. They do a little something to it. Dies again in Florida. The last show of tour.
No.
And to that, at that moment, it was the only show that Taylor had never played, and like it was the only show that we'd ever played without Taylor and Twitching Tongues because he was just sitting with the van all night waiting for AAA.
Oh my God!
And then we were Tampa residents for like 4 days after that. So I lived in Tampa for 4 days. Big fan, great mall.
You and like Adam Cole.
Me, Adam Cole, and Alec Faber. And that day I lived in Tampa. So if anybody has any questions about living in Tampa.
About Tampa. Dude, fuck, I did have a question. I'm sorry. Keep going.
About Tampa?
No, just something, what is it about, like, why haven't we stopped? Harm's Way has had a van stolen, a van broken into, a van die, a trailer stolen.
Well,
like what is it? What is the adversity to quitting?
Our bands are our identities. We're not giving that up.
I think
they're part of us. They're here.
I think it's a bit of that. It's a bit of like brotherhood, legitimately, like a family feeling. And then genuinely, and I'm not even trying to like wrap this episode up with a bow or something, but like without the GoFundMe, without people, without the generosity of the community actually giving a shit about said bands.
And me making it myself, personally.
And you, of course, making it and introducing us at 1720.
There's no fucking footage of that.
Can you believe that? He did the Marauder like intro thing when we played at the record release for Terror.
No footage.
There's just no video of that. It was a good set too.
That was great. Yeah. I mean, dude, you're right in the sense that like, I think that's what makes, and I'm sure this has been said many times, but
it's good to reiterate things with other people because it shows like Europe sucking.
Yeah, of course. But like hardcore, like in people will always say like, oh, this band or this band is not hardcore because of X and Y, but I've heard all of us say this at one point. It's like hardcore is not about music. There is probably 10 different genres within hardcore, but the ethos and like the DIY mentality, and then on top of it, when the community is down, people really do step up and pick one another up. And like, I know that's like cliche to say.
No.
I'll tell you right now, if that doesn't happen, like with the trailer, Harm's Way is done.
Yeah, we would have broken up for sure. Was it not like such a silver lining to be like, oh, we came out of that like energized.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It was like, oh, people fucking care, dude. Like, like we're gonna be okay, and people care, and we have fucking.
That seems to happen every time misfortune brings its way to these bands. It's like everybody
I really
steps
wish it
up.
wouldn't.
Of course, but things end up working out, and to a counterpoint to that is, like I said, the bands exist here, and that's why we fight so hard for it, despite everything against us at all times. So like in our tiny world of hardcore, it's big. It's bigger now, with COVID and TikTok and stuff. Everything's kind of exploded, but it's still it's very small thing. So that's why, other than like Greg Bennick doing spoken word.
Do you remember? Pause. Or I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have interrupted.
Other than Greg Bennick spoken word, our community is too small to spend our time actively shitting on other bands in it. And that, it maybe took me a little too long to realize that. But like, we all went through that. Of course. But like, and that's why there's such a difference between somebody being like, I don't like this band and this band sucks.
Yes. Because
this band sucks that's not about, you're not insulting the music that's being like, that's you're hitting here.
Right.
You're hitting.
Right. There's plenty of bands that are popular right now that I don't care for.
Of course, but you're not going to be like, you suck, because they've dedicated themselves to that. That's you're insulting the person.
We literally just talked about this.
Yeah.
Like in the sense that, whether it's other people, whether it's people online, whether it's a fucking review that you read, like people don't realize that like that's you put. And your friends and the people you care about put all this time and effort into art and became vulnerable, right? Mm. And when people are just like, oh, this sucks, this is terrible, like I don't think they understand what that does, to someone's psyche who,
that's like life changing.
This that hurts. And whether it's other people involved in hardcore outside. I think all of us, like, no matter what, like, we'll always support one another's bands, like, till the end of time.
Yeah,
right?
Whether I like the riff or not, And
it has nothing to do with music. And, like, that's hard for people to understand. But it's like, yo, like, these are my friends.
My guys.
This is important. Mm-hmm. Like, I might not be into this thing, but they felt it was important enough to put it out there. So like, I'm going to support it, And, for me, that's always been a struggle about being in a band and like being,
especially at you two being like lyricists, You know?
Yeah, because that's like a double fuck you. You know?
Yeah, you're the forefront, especially when it comes to fucking music journalism and like.
Well, and that's why I do believe that I should be able to legally duel any music journalist to the death.
Yeah, fuck metal
death.
sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
metal sucks.
Metal sucks,
fucking
dude.
bullshit.
You're fucking another loser.
It's total dork. All right, I have an idea for something to sign off on, Colin, that I don't think we've ever actually talked about before, but I know James has good stories.
All right.
Border Patrol.
Oh.
Border crossing guards. Canada.
Canada.
Switzerland.
Oh, dude, Mexico easily the dopest.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, have fun, guys.
The man with the machine gun
love
is
you.
asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I will say, like, our literal sister country, Canada.
The worst of the worst.
Well,
Worst.
I would say actually the two worst ever, Canada, England.
Switzerland, I would say, is worse than England. They're
to
fucking
me,
bad, but they have a reason to be bad.
The France-England borders are both kind of equally evil.
It's the
they're
English
malevolent.
people in Calais.
Yeah.
Dude.
Those are the problems.
Well, I mean, so
I gotta tell the Canadian one.
Yeah. So here's the good story. Or which one? Which you gonna tell?
Fucking.
All right.
I can't remember which tour it was. I think it was the one with You're the Knife. So it was like the one we were just talking about where we got robbed.
Oh, yeah,
and we went to play Toronto. We're coming back and the guy's like, he's like, all right, come on up. And we all go up to the counter and he's like, now, you know, I only want one person to talk. Don't everybody blah, blah, blah. And I'm just first. And like, we've done this a million times. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And he's like, so what kind of band are you? And I was like, oh, we're like a metal band. You know, it's heavy. He's like, well, are you a metal band or are you like a metal band?
Nice.
And I say, we're a metal band. He says, all right. Anybody else going to talk or is it just this guy? But stone serious. He wasn't fucking joking. He told us 45 seconds before, don't everybody talk all at once. Just have one person. And then when I'm the delegate, he's, what's, you guys mute? What's the fucking problem? And then he was like, God, what did he say? Where he's like, yeah, I don't care for that. Fuck.
I don't know. He basically we said like a popular band.
We were like, oh
Pantera
yeah,
or something?
Metallica.
yeah, Pantera kind of being. He said, yeah, I don't really listen to metal. Just like
fake, yeah. Just
okay,
fake.
man. Like, can I go home? I'm trying to go into my country.
Dude, a friend of ours just got of mine on a tour just got denied into Canada straight up.
Yeah,
they just deny people. Just like,
Dude,
we're not
tell
feeling you today.
A couple. There's two stories.
Do
like,
the one, the Calais one, yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna talk about when basically, well, Chris pulls up to this guy and the guy kept going, "What are ya? What are ya?" And Chris is like,
"A band?"
And the guy's like, "What are ya?" And Chris, like, literally...
I mean, insane question.
He was like, Americans, friends? He's like 20 questions.
Yeah.
He's just like...
All right, and then the guy goes, do you have anything you're bringing back? And Chris goes, what are those things
He
called?
said, just some cherry blasters.
Cherry blasters, the fucking, like gummies that you get, like, that are
Why
sour
would he
gummies.
even say that?
He was just trying to...
He was just being a dick.
Bro out with the guy, you know?
And like, but I remember like waking up to this interaction, and like, it's just like, all right, we're just gonna get, and we're gonna be at the border for another 3 hours.
And then what happened? You remember?
Wait, which?
That was the same guy. The Cherry Blasters guy was the guy who was like, okay, I'm gonna come around and take a look at everyone.
Oh,
and he came around to the side door of the van, opened it up, and a bunch of you just hear clang, clang, clang of all the cans.
All the garbage falls out.
And he looks up and he goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
No,
dude. And
swear to God,
he opened it.
And then, like, so we had like one of those external locks, like the puck locks on the side door. So, like, you know, if someone should have broke in, they couldn't open the door. And it fell out, and he goes, "What the fuck is that?"
aggro.
He thought it was like a landmine or something.
Yeah, like a weapon.
I'm like, dude, like, it's a lock, man. Like, dude, the Border Patrol interactions
so insane.
are so
other than
aggro.
Mexico.
It's one of those. It's like TSA where it's like outside of this like 300 square foot area, you're literally nothing.
Yeah.
But while you're here, you're fucking king of the castle.
But if you're
and
listening
you have
to this, Border Patrol or TSA,
we love you.
We love you.
We adore you. We love how easy you make everything.
Now that they're
tell
gone,
the Calais,
the biggest.
tell the
cuts
Calais
ever.
one, and then we'll be done. The phone thing.
Oh yeah. So as you know, Colin, when you go into England from Europe and you take the ferry, you need to have the correct paperwork. Telling you.
Where you're playing.
You need to have a work permit
and all the passports, just all the pedigree shit that you need.
And I had all of this paperwork on my phone,
Which
on an iPhone.
How many times have you done that before?
Times.
I had done this already.
Dude, sometimes you print it and they're like, "Do you just have it digitally? I don't need to."
Yeah,
exactly. I go up to the guy. He's like, "Oh, this isn't. We can't have this."
Like with his phone, he's like, "What is that?"
And I'm like, "Okay, well, can we send it to you?" He's like, "No, I need it printed physically."
Fuck you.
And meanwhile, we need to get on the ferry in like a half hour.
Yeah, it was like the next ferry.
Yeah, you can only get on that one. The tour is ruined.
Yeah, and basically, he refused to let us use it, and we missed the ferry. And
the tour was ruined.
Dude, just wait.
Once we miss it, like this other person goes.
Well, the guy, we were like, well, can we print it here? Because obviously there's no print like Calais.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
It's not near anything.
You're gonna go to
like,
fucking Kinko's in Calais.
Yeah,
France?
go to a FedEx. Yeah. Exactly. So we're like, what? Can we print it here? And he was like, you could try. Like that was his attitude.
What does that mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So he's like, you could try.
You want me to break? Okay, okay. Like physically.
So James sends it. Yeah. It eventually gets printed out. We miss the ferry, but someone's like, Mr. Pligge, like here's your paperwork. He grabs it. Different border patrol guy comes down, like the shift swapped or whatever.
Oh yeah.
James hands him the paperwork and he's like, why don't you just use your phone? I'm not joking. Yeah. That is what happened.
Yeah, and
I would have fucking Hoganed my shirt off.
Well, what's dumb is like, dude, like literally all I had to do was send them an email with like it was a PDF file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it like again, just something like, this is my job. I need to, be like
we're here for 2 nights. We're playing here and here. These are all the passport numbers. We applied for the visa months ago and it's approved. Here you go. That's all it is.
It's like it's like one of those situations where, like we literally have everything.
Yeah.
Like why? Like what is the problem?
And it's just because that's the problem. Just because.
I remember luckily
that guy was working.
Yeah.
Yep. And luckily, you could use the ticket for a later ferry.
But we made it or whatever.
But how much later was that ferry?
Like an hour and a half or something. Like we were okay, but it's still just like, come on, man. Like
you got to add
like that moment
to worry about. Really,
you can look at our passports and see the same stamps with the underworld, London.
Yeah, for like
the
the
last
10
years or whatever. Come the fuck on.
All right, so man, I can't believe we talked this long.
That's how it always goes, brother.
It's long
because this is just how, and we barely scratched the surface. We didn't get.
I know
we didn't get
so
into
many
Russ.
stories.
We didn't get into our beautiful duet together.
That's true. That's a nice duet.
But that's another reason to have a sequel at some point.
Yep.
But for now,
we built it up.
Can you do us a favor?
What's up?
Can you say it's HardLore time?
Any way you want. You can death metal it.
Oh no.
His voice is hurting.
It's HardLore time.
Thank you, James.
All right.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, no, thanks
can't
for
wait to
having
have
me
you
on.
back. We'll have you back with Chris.
Yeah, that'll be the goal.
Yeah, that's also another mind to, fact check some of the things from Bo and I. Yeah,
He's
got a real perspective, that one.
But
not a friend of the show. I don't think he ever listens.
Enemy of the show, Chris Mills. He will be back on. He will be back on with James soon. Maybe really soon. I don't know. You guys are going to be together for a while doing.
Hey, why
God
not?
Yeah, who knows? We just hang out.
I know.
We just got a nice room.
Travel, hang out.
All right, fellas. We will see you soon, and thank you, listeners. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bling.